final time as president, I have the honor of bestowing the Medal of Freedom.
William Sanford Nye.
Does Bill Nye deserve the Medal of Freedom that was given to him by President Joe Biden recently? Well, let's think about that for a moment. It wasn't just Bill Nye, by the way. There were a number of people, including Hillary Clinton and George Soros. And of course, all those support abortion, killing children in the womb, LGBTQ worldview, which is an anti-biblical worldview, and left-wing liberal ideology. It's interesting what was stated as the award was being presented to Bill Nye.
Earning 19 Emmy Awards for his energetic experiments on television as Bill Nye the Science Guy, he also earned the trust of millions of children and families. By sharing the magic of fun and science, he inspires generations of Americans to follow facts and reason and leave the world better than we found it.
Well, he certainly hasn't left the world better than he found it. He's left it worse than he found it, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And to follow reason, in other words, don't follow God, you follow yourself. You make man your own God. In other words, that's what he was really told. You're getting this Medal of Freedom because you taught children to be their own God. Wow. That's what you need to teach children. Here's a medal. So Bill Nye gets the Medal of Freedom, and he certainly has supported women who want to have abortions.
When it comes to women's rights with respect to their reproduction, I think you should leave it to women. Nobody likes abortion, okay? But you can't tell somebody what to do. I mean, she has rights over this, especially if she doesn't like the guy that got her pregnant.
He has said that what makes one male or female is not so clear-cut, and he tells kids sexuality isn't that simple.
What makes someone male or female isn't so clear-cut. How about attraction? Some people argue the natural thing is to only be attracted to the opposite sex. But in practice, it ain't so simple, kids.
And some are gay, some are bi, some are asexual, etc. He not only teaches against the biblical worldview on gender, but actually he's telling people to trust science when real observational science makes it very clear there are only two genders. When I interviewed Bill Nye, when we went through the Ark Encounter after it was open, he said things like this.
When you die, what happens to you?
You're done.
You're done. Are we animals?
Yeah.
We're just
mammals.
an animal?
Breathe air.
Okay. From your perspective, all life is related?
Certainly.
Even
Yes,
plants?
it's
We're
one of the
related to plants?
It's one of the fundamental discoveries in all of life
Okay,
science.
so we're related to plants?
Yes.
So we're related to a banana?
Yes.
Okay. It's one
What
of the-
makes you think we're not related to bananas? You and I are descendants of Martians.
Okay,
That
and
is
that's
not
not
crazy.
And that's not crazy? Is it crazy that you and I are descendants of Adam and Eve?
We are descendants from a common ancestor. I don't
But
know
is
that
it
they went
crazy
by
that
those names.
God made the first man and woman and we're descendants
There's,
of
for
them?
me, there's no evidence of that.
So is that crazy?
But
I wouldn't use that word.
What would you say?
It's you're betraying your intellect. You're not using your head. So we establish laws by consensus.
By consensus. So
Our
different.
tribe gets together
Okay.
and decides what's right and wrong.
Okay,
We
so
not only that, we agree on degrees of rightness and wrongness.
okay,
A parking
so,
ticket not as serious as running somebody over with your car.
So there could be a different consensus by a different group.
Absolutely, and this process is what we call.
You just said absolutely, but that's an absolute.
Very much,
You said an absolute.
very much.
So if somebody said to you, I think types like you are dangerous, I want to get rid of you, would you say that's right or wrong?
It depends.
In other words, he's being consistent with his moral relativism. He told a little girl,
Are you telling
He's
this
not
little,
taking
are you telling
people's
this little
word.
girl that she is just an animal?
The word just, I disagree with. She's a wonderful, beautiful animal.
well, he's telling children they're just animals. Now, he might say beautiful, but how do you decide what's beautiful anyway? Oh, that's another topic. He told that little girl,
And so as you get older, just look at the world. I really encourage you to go to college.
He told that little girl to trust science and go to college as he was disagreeing with her believing in God. In reality, he was telling her not to believe in God. You know what? Bill Nye promotes a worldview that is anti-biblical, where morality is all relative, it's subjective. He promotes human reason above anything else. In other words, you being your own God. He's telling children they're just animals. He says we could be descendants of Martians, where we've really got no more value than a banana because we're all related to plants anyway. And when he says when you die, you're done, he's really saying that's it. There is no ultimate purpose or meaning in life. All is meaningless, all is purposelessness, ultimately. He's leaving the world a worse place, not a better one, by indoctrinating children in an anti-biblical worldview. And he's indoctrinated millions of children that way. You know, the Medal of Honor that he really needs is the one the Bible talks about. And that's the most important one. In Matthew 5:12, we read, "Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven." You know, that's the reward we need to be concerned about, that we know for sure we're going to heaven. And unfortunately, Bill Nye has rejected that. And we need to pray for him. And then in 2 Timothy 4:7-8, we read, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing." You know what? Medals given by humans on this earth are ultimately worthless. It's what God bestows upon us that is the most important. And besides, I wouldn't want a medal from someone like Joe Biden with such a wicked anti-God worldview anyway. Now, as Christians, our reward is in heaven. We shouldn't look for rewards in this earth, but our reward is in heaven. And that's what we need to get across to people like Bill Nye and Hillary Clinton and George Soros. Hey, our reward is in heaven. You need to trust Christ for salvation. That's the most important thing on this earth. Getting accolades, getting medals for a worldview that teaches against God, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. They may get these rewards here on earth from a human perspective, but ultimately, what is God going to say? And where are they going to spend eternity? That's the ultimate question. That's what it's all about.